Good morning, or good very late afternoon.
We keep doing this.
Yeah. All right, today we're going to try to build another piece of furniture. As I can hear lightning and thunder behind me, but we do have this massive tarp set up, so we can work in the rain. But the whole theme right now is get as much storage as possible into the house, as things are still a little bit unorganized because we don't have enough space to put anything. So today we're going to attempt to build a dresser or a wardrobe. What are we calling it?
A dresser. I'll call it a dresser, yeah.
Out of walnut. So all this lumber we bought at the local lumber mill back when my dad was still in town helping out. And about halfway through, pencil's dead, halfway through cutting all of the lumber down, we realized, oh, we really need a straight edge on all of this. So we started having him cut one straight edge on all of the lumber, which just gives us a good place to start. And then I can cut on the table saw everything else. But that means that a good bit of the lumber doesn't have one. So I'm just using a straight edge for concrete to put a mark on. And then I'll have to push that through freehand, trying to get it as straight as possible. And then we'll have one straight edge to work off of. All right, so since we have lightning, we're gonna call it because we're rather exposed up top here on this mountain, and oh man, that is cold rain. Let's move everything inside real quick.
Okay, I don't want to go out there right now. Woo, okay.
Well, all that rain brought in a bit of a cold front, and it feels like fall is just around the corner. I have never been more excited for fall in my life. It's a lovely day to build up a dresser. So I tell you what, I'd like to say my mind is with what I'm currently doing, but it's anything but. I'm so distracted thinking about something that's coming up here soon. There is a really big change for us coming up on the horizon, which I'm excited for, I'm nervous about, I'm excited to tell you guys about. We'll be telling you soon, but it's got me a little bit distracted this morning. So as wood dries, it obviously warps and curves and obviously grows in not straight lines. So the thickness planer takes it down to an even thickness, making sure that everything is flat on these two sides. And now I'm using the joiner function of this machine to get the side edges perfectly flat so that I can marry the two panels together and make sure there's no gaps. Unfortunately, I don't have too much time. Actually, fortunately, I don't have too much time to work on this today because we have some friends coming over for lunch. So I do need to break off in the next couple of hours to at least clean up the place, tidy up. We're going to have a nice barbecue. But I do still have the probably overly optimistic goal of at least getting the majority, if not the whole box to the dresser completely assembled before that time. But, like I said, optimistic. I do think I still need to learn how to use my joiner properly because they're flush together, but it's got just a bit of a bow to it. So there is something nice about working outside, especially on a lovely day like today with the beautiful weather. But I will say that someday I do hope to have a real workshop because there are some annoyances like the fact that every time I need to plug in a tool, I have to clean off the mud because eventually I step on them and they get full of mud, and the fact that there's just no space for anything. I've got pieces sitting inside of a fireplace right there. I don't even know where the other panel is. But especially considering the weather and the view, I'm not complaining, but I do hope someday to have a real workshop. So this is me from the not too distant future, and we just finished up the most chaotic travel I think we've ever done, flying from Italy to Doha to Australia back to the United States, and we went the really long way around the globe specifically because Heather found really good tickets and because we wanted to spend some time with friends. We got to spend a week in Australia with our good friends, hitting up the beach even though it's winter there, and just spending some good quality time. But throughout this entire chaotic travel, we were supported by Olafly, who is our channel sponsor, but also the provider that we trust for our eSIMs. If you aren't aware, an eSIM is a digital SIM card that you install prior to taking off for your destination so that your cell phone works immediately upon arriving. Traditionally, you'd have to wait in a long line at the airport after arriving to get a physical SIM card, remove your old number and hope you don't lose it, and they are very small. But with an eSIM, you can digitally install a new cell phone plan without removing your old number. We've been trusting Olafly for over 2 years now for all of our travel, as they offer unlimited data to over 200 destinations worldwide, and just simply how easy it is to install an eSIM, as it takes about 15 seconds to get a new cell phone plan up and running. So go ahead and download Olafly today. You can scan the QR code on screen or check out the link in the description below. And if you use our coupon code RAISINGVoyagers, you'll get an extra 5% off any purchase or top up. But with that, thank you so much to Olafly for sponsoring today's video. So I really just needed to get away today and clear my mind, and we had some friends over yesterday for a nice barbecue, a lovely meal, and we started talking about hiking, and they were encouraging me that I'm working too much. I need to get out more and enjoy the surrounding nature, because me personally, that's what I love so much about this area. And this mountain I've hiked, I think 6 times now, but it's been probably 6 months since I've gone. And this is what recharges me, fills me up. I'll show you where I'm going. If I can see on the screen, it is right about there. So, long ways to go still. It's usually about this time, the second half, that I start thinking about the top and what's up there waiting for me. It's far more than just a spectacular view. There's something truly special up there. But the second half gets a little bit steep. This right here is why you come up here. Whew, man, look at that view. There's still another 45 minutes to get to the top, and again, it's not just the view that you come up here for. There's something really quite special up there. I made it up here entirely way too early, and it's quite a terrible day in terms of weather. It's quite freezing. I didn't exactly pack for that, but this is why I love coming up here. There's a beautiful, they call them refugi. It's a nice little cabin mountain hut. You can actually spend the night here, but what I like to do is grab lunch, which doesn't start for another hour or so. I'm gonna have a tea and then go up and show you guys the beautiful view. Really lucky with the view, aside from the really harsh wind. But look at that, man. You can see to both sides of the valley.
settimane più pizzo del Signore, non sappiamo quando riesci a quasi.
Sì, a posto.
Porto con calma il brasato, l'arrosto.
Va bene, grazie.
Grazie. Un po' l'ultimo.
Mi fa vedere come lo chiede.
Oh man, it's cold. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that. I wanted to try something new, and I'm really glad that I got out into the mountains. There's really nothing that restores me faster than being out there hiking, getting some exercise, and of course those incredible views. The refugio culture here, the mountain hut culture, if you will, is incredible. There are hundreds of those places scattered around these mountains. You can actually stay in each one of them and hike from place to place every night, which is something that I would love to do someday. I need to explore more of them. I tend to keep going back to the same ones over and over again, but there is, for me, just nothing better. I also was a little surprised just how creatively fulfilling it was to film the process, but for now, it's time to get back to work. I'm gonna finish up this dresser. Now for the fun part where we see this all comes to life. I will say it's going to turn out to be a little bit rustic just because of the wood that I've chosen, but I think that adds a little bit of character. So far, I'm pretty sure this is an example of why you should not build cabinets outside, because the table is warped and sitting on an angle. It's really hard to get this cabinet to go in properly. swing your end around.
Yeah.
And then just let it on gently because the legs are fresh.
Looks awesome. What?
It's taller than we thought.
It is taller, but I think it's cool. I like it.
I ran out of time to make the final top, but this will be
Oh.
temporary. It won't be this thick
Okay.
or long. It'll be a little bit shorter.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be beautiful though.
Probably 50% thinner.
Yay.
So eventually we'll have inlay doors here that will match what we've done on the underside of the bed with the same pull-out handles. So everything will match and be all nice, and then we'll have kind of a wall of walnut on the front of that wardrobe. As far as this top, it's too thick currently, going to shrink that down a little bit. I just haven't had the time to finish it up yet. And while I really hate leaving projects halfway finished, I think I'm going to have to this week. I don't regret at all taking the time off to go hiking. It was very good for me, but unfortunately that means that this dresser will sit here mostly finished for quite a long time, as starting next week we have something very different going on. But with that, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.